Tonight at 9:01 p.m., Archangel Michael pleads with you. Open this message, or the miracle your soul has been waiting for could slip away. My child, my beloved, something powerful is being written into the pages of your destiny as your eyes move across these words. Tonight at 9:00 p.m., heaven will unlock a sacred door, but it will open only for those who are ready to trust, listen, and receive this message until the end. You did not arrive here by accident. Archangel Michael is not calling out to everyone. He is calling directly to you. And I speak this with holy urgency in my voice. If you leave now, the very miracle you prayed for, wept for, sacrificed for, and whispered about in silence may pass over your name and be placed into someone else's hands. You have less time than you realize. This is not something to save for another moment. Your miracle carries a divine hour, and if you miss this opening, the gate may not return. Before we go further, I ask you from the deepest place in heaven's heart, subscribe now, because if you close this message, you may never find your way back to the doorway that has been opened for your name. This is your divine appointment. This is the moment you are meant to step forward. You are not here by chance. Heaven is watching, waiting, and hoping you will remain until the final word. Please do not let this pass you by. The miracle has already started moving, but your response is what will bring it into your hands. My child, my beloved, someone tried to stop this message from reaching you. You have no idea how much darkness fought against it, trying to hide your blessing before you could even recognize the seed. But heaven overruled it. The miracle was too big, too urgent. The delay was shattered by divine force because Archangel Michael refused to let your name be. He fought through realms to bring you this message. He held back winds of destruction that were closing in. That's why you've been feeling the shift. That's why strange things have been happening. You've noticed it, haven't you? The silence that felt too loud, the weight in your chest with no reason, the sudden thoughts about walking away from everything. That was not just coincidence. It was spiritual interference, and now God is breaking it off you. But only if you stay right now. Tonight at exactly 9 p.m., there will be a divine reversal released in the spirit realm. But it can only land on your life if your name is present at the moment of release. That's why you must keep your heart open, your ears open, your eyes open, and do not walk away from this message, not even for a second. My child, my beloved, I know you've been tired. I know you've been asking why nothing changes. Why does it feel like every door opens for others and not for you? Why does it seem like your faith gets tested the most, right before you're about to break through? It's because you are the chosen one. The weight has been greater because the miracle is heavier than most can carry. That's why tonight is different. That's why 9 p.m. isn't just another hour. It's the hour written into your heavenly timeline as the moment of release. If you walk away now, everything you've been building in secret, all the seeds you've planted in ears will remain hidden. But if you stay, if you say yes, if you open your spirit right now and receive this message fully, something irreversible will start shifting in your favor. A divine chain reaction that will shock even the people who doubted you. My beloved, please don't let the clock strike and find you absent. My child, my beloved, do you know what was written about you today in heaven? A sentence that shook even the oldest angels. It said, "Their time has come. They have suffered long enough. Heaven has declared an end to the delay, an end to the silence, an end to the unseen battles that have tried to crush your spirit. But here is the mystery. Heaven requires your permission to deliver the breakthrough. You must respond. You must receive. That's why Archangel Michael is begging. Not commanding, but begging that you do not ignore this one moment. So many others were meant to receive this miracle, but they walked away too soon. They clicked off. They said, "I'll come back later." And now that gate is gone. But you, my beloved, you still have time. Do you still have the divine window? It's closing fast, but it is open right now. My child, my beloved, you need to know the truth. Someone has been trying to delay your miracle behind the scenes. Yes, a spiritual force has been whispering lies into your life, making you believe you're not worthy, not ready, not strong enough, making you think your time hasn't come. But tonight, that lie is being destroyed by heaven's fire. Tonight at 9 p.m., if you're still standing in faith, something unstoppable will begin. It will be the kind of shift that generations before you will feel, and generations after you will reap. Because this isn't just about you. This is about your bloodline, about your future children, about the legacy that begins with one decision to open this message fully, with no fear, no doubt, and no hesitation. My child, my beloved, you are not hearing this message by accident. And if you are still reading, then I know it's because your spirit recognizes truth. It recognizes the voice of Archangel Michael calling out from a realm you cannot see, but one you've always felt. That warm pull in your chest, that tingle down your spine, that deep knowing that says, "This is for me." That is not emotion. That is revelation. And if you obey that feeling, if you follow it without turning back, heaven will reward you publicly for the secret obedience you are showing right now. The miracle has been waiting for your yes. And tonight at 9 p.m., sharp, your yes becomes the key to unlock it all. My child, my beloved, you are entering the most delicate part of this moment, the place where heaven watches not with urgency, but with quiet assurance. This is where trust settles in, where the noise fades, where the soul stops asking for proof and simply rests in knowing. You may not realize it yet, but something inside you has already shifted. The fear that once clenched your chest is loosening. The questions that once raised through your mind are slowing. This is not because answers have arrived in full, but because peace has begun to take their place. That peace is not accidental. It is the first sign that the miracle is real, that it is already touching you from the inside before forever appears on the outside. My child, my beloved, I want you to remember this feeling, this quiet awareness, this gentle steadiness, because in the days to come, when life begins to move again, when changes unfold step by step, this feeling will be your anchor. You will recognize it and say, "This is what heaven felt like when it spoke to me. This is how I knew I was not alone. This is how I knew I was guided." You will not need to convince anyone of what happened tonight. The evidence will speak for itself through the way you walk, the way you choose, the way you no longer react from fear but respond from trust. My child, my beloved, do not rush what is unfolding. Miracles that last are not rushed, they are layered. They settle gently like light filling a room at dawn. At first, you only notice a small glow, Then slowly everything becomes visible again. That is how this will be. One realization at a time, one door opening after another, one burden lifting then another. You do not need to see the whole path tonight. You only need to remain where you are open and willing, allowing heaven to guide your next step when the time comes. My child, my beloved, there will be moments after tonight when you wonder if this was all in can-you imagination. That is normal. The mind tries to regain control when the spirit has been deeply touched. When that happens, return to what you felt here. Return to the calm. Return to the certainty that rose without effort. Faith does not always shout. Sometimes it simply stands firm and waits for life to catch up. Let it be so. You do not have to defend this moment. You only have to live from it. My child, my beloved, I am not leaving you after this message ends. Guidance does not disappear when the words stop. Protection does not fade when the screen goes dark. What has been activated will continue to work quietly in the background of your life. Conversations will shift. Thoughts will change. Opportunities will appear without struggle. And you will begin to notice that you are no longer pushing against life the way you used to. Things will start meeting you halfway. That is grace at work. My child, my beloved, stay gentle with yourself tonight. Rest your heart. Breathe deeply. Let gratitude rise, even if you cannot yet name everything you are grateful for. Gratitude prepares the ground for what is coming next. It tells heaven you are ready, not just to receive, but to carry what you are giving with wisdom, time, and humility. You are stepping into a season where what you hold matters or your choices carry weight. For your presence brings light to others without effort. This is not pressure. It is purpose unfolding naturally. My child, my beloved, remain in this awareness a little longer. Let the words sink past your thoughts and settle into your spirit. You are safe. You are seen. You are guided. And what you have been waiting for has not forgotten you. It is moving toward you now, steadily, faithfully, in the exact way and time that will serve you best. Stay open. Stay trusting. Stay present. There is still more unfolding, and you are exactly where you need to be. My child, my beloved, you are not hearing this message by accident. And if you are still reading, then I know it's because your spirit recognizes truth. It recognizes the voice of Archangel Michael calling out from a realm you cannot see, but one you've always felt. That warm pull in your chest, that tingle down your spine, that deep knowing that says, "This is for me." That is not emotion. That is revelation. And if you obey that feeling, if you follow it without turning back, heaven will reward you publicly for the secret obedience you are showing right now. The miracle has been waiting for your yes. And tonight at 9 p.m. sharp, your yes becomes the key to unlock it all. My child, my beloved, I need to tell you what the enemy knows but hoped you'd never find out. Doubt your name has been glowing in the spirit realm, even when you felt forgotten, even when you thought God had gone silent, even when everyone else seemed to pass you by. Your name was never erased. In fact, it was being etched deeper in gold by divine hands every time you stayed faithful. Every time you believed, even when nothing changed. Every time you chose peace while chaos was trying to pull you under. The miracle you've been waiting for is no longer being prepared. It is ready. It is fully wrapped. But there is one final instruction left to complete its release. You must stay connected until the end, because the miracle is voice activated. And right now, your spirit is being given the exact words it needs to unlock what's coming. If you walk away before the final sentence, the process will pause again. Don't allow this moment to slip. You are seconds away from the shift of a lifetime. My child, my beloved, the shift that's coming isn't small. This is not a minor blessing. This is not something that only touches one area of your life. What's coming is a divine sweep, a reversal of everything that tried to hold you down. The health battle, the financial confusion, the relationships that wore youth in the career blockages, the emotional weight you didn't tell anyone about. God is not just fixing broken. He's upgrading what you thought could never change. But the danger is this: if you do not open this message with full heart, the portal created did it for this shift will close. It is fragile, sensitive, sacred. That's why Archangel Michael is not being soft this time. He is begging. And when an archangel begs, it means something enormous is hanging in balance. You are being summoned to make a decision. Will you trust the voice of heaven, or let your past pain convince you nothing can be different? Please, beloved, choose heaven. Choose your miracle. My child, my beloved, I know your trust has been tested. You've had people promise you love and vanish. You've had opportunities wave in front of you and then disappear. You may have wondered if your prayers were only rising to the ceiling and falling back unheard. But listen closely now. None of those tears were wasted. The delay was never God saying no. It was heaven getting you ready for what is coming. What you are about to receive is too holy, too powerful, and too heavy to be placed into hands that were not prepared. Heaven was not punishing you in the waiting. God was protecting the miracle from being destroyed too early in the wrong season. And now, because the refining has done its work, because the storm has passed over your life, the gift is moving toward you. You are hearing this message because the divine messenger is already traveling in your direction with heaven's seal. But if you close this now, you may not be standing in place when it arrives. That is why this word cannot be treated like something ordinary. This is your sacred notice from heaven that your blessing is ready for pickup tonight. Tonight at 9 p.m., your blessing is being released toward your name. But the signature heaven requires is not written with ink. It is written through spiritual alignment, and that alignment begins right now in this very moment. My child, my beloved, someone near your life will not understand the miracle that is about to reach you. That is why heaven has been moving quietly around you, arranging protection before the blessing could finally be revealed to your eyes. You were not forgotten. You were hidden, not because you lacked worth, but because heaven needed to guard what you carried from jealous eyes and careless mouths that would have cursed the seed before it ever had time to bloom in peace. That is why some friendships faded. That is why old connections feel empty. That is why you felt alone in rooms full of people. It was not rejection from God. It was divine redirection placing you where you needed to stand for this hour. God had to position you without distraction, because this miracle is not just for applause or celebration. It is the kind of breakthrough that rewrites the story of your life and makes every past battle finally make sense before your eyes. This is a divine announcement that will quiet every voice that mocked you, doubted you, or spoke against your name. But you must be willing to pass through the birthing pain before you can hold the breakthrough heaven is placing in your hands. And that pain ends tonight. If and only if you open the message fully, receive the revelation, and allow heaven to complete what it started. My child, my beloved, I feel your spirit stirring. I know you are feeling that this message is different, that it carries weight, that something inside you is crying, trembling, leaning in. That is because your soul already recognizes what your mind is just beginning to see. This is the moment, not one of many. This is the Mark Tower, the one spoken of in your dreams, the one heaven whispered into the timelines of angels when you were born. 9:00 p.m. tonight has been stamped in the supernatural. The miracle has your name written on it in letters only God could form. But heaven is watching closely to see if you are ready, not emotionally, not physically, spiritually. Are you willing to believe again? Are you willing to stay when everything and you wants to scroll away? Are you willing to stand still long enough for heaven to deposit the gift? If so, the miracle is yours. If not, it will wait again, and the delay will begin again. Don't make heaven wait another season, beloved. You have already waited long enough. My child, my beloved, I want you to understand what makes this moment so rare, so fragile, so holy. Divine timing doesn't repeat itself casually. It is shaped by obedience sealed in fire and delivered with the weight of eternal intention. There are blessings that God gives freely, but this one, this miracle, is different. It is reserved. It was held back until you reach the point of complete surrender. And you've arrived, even if you didn't feel ready, even if you still doubt yourself, even if you think you missed your chance. Let me tell you something. Heaven has been shouting in silence. You didn't miss anything. In fact, the very thing you thought disqualified you is what qualified you. Your scars became the proof of your faith. Your patience became the proof of your maturity. Your stillness became the proof of your trust. And now, heaven says, release it. Let the reward begin. The child, the miracle, cannot fall on a distracted heart. It cannot enter a door that closes too soon. You must stay. Your presence is still the key. My child, my beloved, I have been assigned to watch over you, not just tonight, but since the beginning. I've seen you when you were weeping, when you questioned why God would let you be tested this way. I saw when you felt others were always chosen while you were left behind. I saw when you smiled in public while collapsing in private. I saw when you wanted to give up on everything but didn't. And that is why I am here now, speaking this message into your life. This isn't simply divine encouragement. This is a spiritual instruction. Do not walk away. Do not minimize this as emotional. What you're feeling is prophetic. What you're sensing is real. The invisible hand of God is writing something around your life, and it is reaching its final line. That final line is tied to your reaction to this moment. The miracle is in midair, and it will land wherever faith is found. My child, my beloved, the battle you've been facing wasn't just physical. It wasn't just emotional. It was spiritual warfare in disguise. That confusion you felt wasn't yours. That heaviness that sat on your shoulders wasn't normal. That unexpected resistance right when things were finally going well. That was the last attempt from the enemy to shake your focus and stop your miracle. But it didn't work, because you are still here. still reading, still trusting, still holding on, and that my beloved has made heaven roar with joy. Archangels have encircled your name. Trumpets have been lifted. Scrolls have been opened, because you are one of the few who heard the call and stayed. The miracle that will meet you at 9 p.m. is not just for you. It's for the generations after you. You are a gate breaker, a curse destroyer, a divine interruption in the patterns that try to repeat in your family. Stay until the very end. The fullness hasn't even been revealed yet. My child, my beloved, there is something sacred that happens when heaven speaks and the listens. It creates a divine bridge, an invisible ladder that allows miracles to travel from realms unseen into the visible world of your reality. And that is what is happening right now. As your eyes follow these words, heaven is descending. The things you prayed for, the shifts you waited for, the closure you needed, the clarity you begged for, it is all arriving with each second that passes. But this is not passive. Your miracle needs your awareness, your full presence. This is a divine contract, and the words written here are the ink. You are not reading by chance. You are fulfilling what was written about you long ago. Yes, long before the pain, long before the delay, long before the betrayal. Heaven had already planned a moment when it would all begin to make sense. This is that moment. Don't lose it by thinking it's just a message. It's much more. It's your moment of release. My child, my beloved, even now someone connected to your destiny is being stirred in their spirit. Their heart is becoming restless. They are thinking about you without knowing why. They are about to remember something they promised you, or something they never told you. This stirring isn't natural. It is spiritual. Heaven is aligning people on your behalf. Someone is about to bless you unexpectedly. Someone is about to apologize. Someone is about to show up with information opportunity or favor that changes everything. And you don't have to chase it. You don't have to beg for it. You only need to remain where you are in surrender. That's the power of divine timing. It causes everything to come to you without striving. And it happens the moment your spirit fully says yes. This is not fiction. It's fulfillment. And beloved, you are in the exact moment that was set aside just for that. My child, my beloved, I must also warn you gently, but truthfully. If you walk away from this message too early, something will remain unfinished. It will not be punishment. It will simply be delayed. The miracle will wait. But it won't stay wide open. Doors of favor do not swing endlessly. There is a rhythm to heaven. And right now, you are inside a window that is closing minute by minute. That's why your soul feels this weight. That's why everything suddenly feels more serious, more urgent, more holy. That's why even your body is reacting, because your whole being can feel what your eyes cannot see. Stay here, child. Do not interrupt what heaven is orchestrating for you. You are so close, so unbelievably close to the shift that makes everything make sense. My child, my beloved, I feel your spirit stirring. I know you are feeling that this message is different, that it carries weight. That's something inside you is crying, trembling, leaning in. That is because your soul already recognizes what your mind is just beginning to see. This is the moment, not one of many. This is the Mark Tower. the one spoken of in your dreams, the one heaven whispered into the timelines of angels when we were born. 9 p.m. Tonight has been stamped in the supernatural. The miracle has your name written on it in letters only God could form. But heaven is watching closely to see if you are ready. Not emotionally, not physically, spiritually. Are you willing to believe again? Are you willing to stay when everything and you wants to scroll away? Are you willing to stand still long enough for heaven to deposit the gift? If so, the miracle is yours. If not, it will wait again, and the delay will begin again. Don't make heaven wait another season, beloved. You have already waited long enough. My child, my beloved, there is something I must tell you now that cannot wait. There is a countdown in the spirit realm, one that does not move with the ticking of clocks, but with the pulses of divine intention. And as I speak, that countdown is approaching its final seconds. Do you feel it? That strange urgency in your chest, the way your breath catches when you read certain words, the sudden thought that this moment might be bigger than anything you've experienced this year. That's not imagination. That's divine alignment activating inside of you. Heaven has already dispatched angels to stand guard around your name, your home, destiny, and they are watching to see if you will stay until the release completes. This is not entertainment. This is an assignment. This message is not content. It's a container. Inside, these words are pieces of your future folded in spiritual codes, and if you play them unopened, they cannot unfold. Stay with me, child. I promise, before this message ends, something inside you will awaken. And when it does, everything around you will begin to change. My child, my beloved, many people will see this message, but only a few will respond, bond, and even fewer will finish. But you are not like the rest. You didn't scroll away. You didn't silence the call. You felt something stir, and you followed the sound, and heaven saw that. That's why, even now, there are angels writing your name into a different chapter, a chapter that wasn't originally scheduled for this season, but your obedience triggered a rewrite. Yes, your obedience is powerful enough to make heaven move early. What you're about to receive was scheduled for a later time, but God has expedited the blessing. Because of your hunger, your faith, your decision to believe again after all you've been through. That's why this is happening at 9 p.m. That's why the angels are whispering. Even now, they are ready. Release it now. And it will be released, but only if your heart remains open. If your spirit stays tuned, you must not miss a single line. The miracle is hidden in these very words. My child, my beloved, someone tried to curse your name in the past season. Yes, I said curse, whether through words, jealousy, manipulation, or even spiritual interference. Someone placed an assignment of blockage against you. That's why so many things seem to go wrong without reason. That's why opportunities kept falling through just as they were about to bloom. That's why you kept feeling like you were 2 steps behind the rest of the world, no matter how hard have you tried. But listen closely. Heaven just reversed the curse, not by returning it, but by replacing it with divine favor. Archangel Michael has been warring in the heavens for your release, and tonight the final stroke of that battle will come to pass at 9 p.m. But only if you are still aligned, still watching, still saying yes. If you turn away, the reversal will pause. And you know how painful that delay has already been. Beloved, you've waited too long, cried too many nights, and held too much pain. I mean, in silence to stop now. You are too close. My child, my beloved, I need you to understand what is truly at stake. This is not only about finances. It is not only about love. It is not only about one breakthrough in one small corner of your life. This is about divine replacement. What you believed was gone forever, your peace, your joy, your fire, your purpose, even certain people, is being restored in a higher form. Heaven does not return what was stolen in the same amount. It brings it back multiplied, doubled, tripled, and overflowing beyond what you expected. But here is the sacred condition. The window of return has been appointed for 9 p.m. Tonight is that window. The divine package carries your name, but your presence is required to receive it. That is why Michael is pleading, not merely warning. A warning may sound like danger, but a plea carries love, urgency, and compassion. You are so loved that heaven is begging you to listen. Think about that. No soul on this earth can love you the way God loves you. That love is the reason this message is moving through your screen right now. It is why your heart feels stirred. You have been chosen to receive what others allowed to slip away. But you must respond. My child, my beloved, listen with every part of your spirit to what I am about to speak. Hear this clearly. This night has not been written like the others. Something about it is different. Something holy is resting upon it. Something sealed in the gold of heaven. You have lived through many nights when you went to sleep feeling unseen, unheard, and unfinished. But tonight was not designed to end in silence. Tonight was designed to end in celebration. The only thing heaven is waiting for is your response. There is a blessing already moving close to your life. Its wings are beating near you, hovering, waiting, circling the edges of your faith. And if doubt interrupts this sacred moment, it may rise away before it ever lands. I know you have heard promises before. I know you have opened your heart and still felt disappointed. But this time is not the same, because this promise is not coming from a person. It is coming from heaven, and heaven cannot lie. Heaven does not break covenant. Heaven is calling your name with such holy fire that even the angels are watching with tears, hoping you will choose to believe what is being spoken over you right now. Do not silence your miracle with hesitation. Say yes with your soul before your mind understands. Your trust is the gate. My beloved, someone near you already knows part of the secret. They saw it in a dream, a glimpse of the divine file carrying your name. Yet instead of coming to you, they carried it to someone else to protect their own place first. Now their spirit is uneasy because this message reached you sooner than they expected. You are beginning to wake up. You are remembering small signs, noticing patterns that once felt random, and suddenly they are speaking clearly. There is a reason sleep felt broken last night. There is a reason your heart stirred near 3 a.m., as if something unseen touched your life. That was the hour your name was spoken in heaven and marked for divine reversal tonight. But the enemy heard the announcement too, and now darkness is rushing to cover what heaven has already revealed. My child, stay close, because soon I will uncover the very thing they tried to erase from your memory forever tonight. My child, my beloved, remain with me now, because the veil is becoming thinner. The moment you chose to keep listening, something unseen moved closer. Heaven noticed your focus, and the archangels saw your courage clearly tonight. You must understand this clearly. Many people feel the disturbance, but they never search for the truth behind it. They ignore the inner pull, distract their hearts, scroll away, and the truth sinks back into silence again unseen. But you did not leave. You stayed. And because you stayed, what was supposed to disappear is now fighting to remain visible. Last night was not an ordinary night. It was a quiet turning point written in the spirit for you alone now. There was no thunder, no public sign, no sudden noise around you. That is how the strongest spiritual movements often arrive. They come with a shift so exact and hidden that only chosen souls can feel the weight of it within them. Your soul felt it. That strange heaviness mixed with hope, that uneasy sense that someone was thinking about you deeply, even though no message appeared, was not imagination. It was the echo of a hidden conversation nearby you last night. My child, that conversation was real. Your life was being discussed as if it carried great meaning, because it does. More than you have understood, heaven has been watching the details others dismissed or tried to use against you. My beloved, hear this slowly, not with fear, but with clear understanding. Someone attempted to disturb your timeline, not by destroying everything at once, but by delaying you long enough to make you question yourself deeply again. They wanted the delay to weaken your faith, blur your discernment, and make you believe the promise had passed you by. But heaven intercepted the plan, and this message is proof that the hidden attack did not succeed against you today. What was meant to confuse you is now becoming evidence. What was meant to silence you is now calling your spirit awake. Stay attentive, because the truth heaven protected is rising back into the light before your eyes today again. Is the enemy's favorite weapon. If they can make you wait, hesitate, second guess, they believe they can weaken the promise attached to, "What's your name?" And last night they thought they succeeded. They thought the distraction worked. They thought you would wake up and forget the heaviness in your chest. What heaven does not forget. The 7 archangels gathered because something crossed the line. A boundary was touched that should never have been touched. Your peace, your calling, your future. And when that happens, heaven intervenes quietly but decisively. That is why this message reached you now and not earlier. That is why it feels urgent but calm at the same time. Truth does not scream. Truth arrives and waits to see, if you are brave enough to look at it. My child, my beloved, there is a reason your life has felt like it was preparing you for something without. I'm telling you what it was. You have been shedding old versions of yourself, old attachments, old expectations sometimes. You thought it was lost. Heaven calls it clearing. What happened last night was the final check, a spiritual review. The archangels examined whether you were ready to know what has been moving toward you. And the answer was yes. But readiness does not mean comfort. It means courage. It means you are strong enough to know the truth even if it changes how you see someone you trusted. Even if it forces you to let go of a story you were holding on to because it felt safe. My beloved, The truth that surfaced last night involves a connection in your life that has not been honest in the way play it appeared. Not fully evil, not fully pure. Half-truths, smiles that hit hesitation, promises that were delayed, again and again. Heaven saw the imbalance, and heaven does not allow imbalance to linger forever. My child, listen carefully now, because this part matters deeply. What was revealed last night was not meant to punish you. It was meant to protect you from wasting more of your heart on something that could never meet you where you are going. The path opening in front of you requires clarity, not confusion. Strength, not waiting. Truth, not excuses. Someone in your life has been standing at a crossroads, and instead of choosing honesty, they chose nitro silence. They chose to let you believe something that benefited them. And last night, that choice was recorded. Not for revenge, for resolution. Heaven does not rush, but heaven does conclude. And the conclusion that formed around your name was this: you will no longer be kept in the dark for someone else's convenience. My beloved, I know your heart. I know you try to see the good. I know you make excuses for others because you understand pain. That compassion is beautiful, but it has also made you vulnerable. And vulnerability without boundaries attracts confusion. That is why this message came now, before another cycle could repeat. Before another year could pass with the same unanswered questions. Before you blame yourself again for something that was never your fault. Last night, the archangels agreed on one thing unanimously. The truth must reach you directly. Play Natsu signs not through rumors, not through dreams that fade. Directly, true words, true awareness, through a moment you consciously chose. This moment. My child, my beloved, do you feel how quiet everything feels right now? That stillness is not emptiness. It is alignment. When the noise stops, it means something important is about to be understood. You may notice your breathing slow, your thoughts narrow. That is because your spirit recognizes what is happening. This is not just information. This is activation. The truth you are receiving is gently rewiring how you will respond from this point forward. You will not chase what does not choose you. You will not beg for clarity where deception lives. You will not shrink yourself to keep peace. That was never real. That shift alone changes everything, and the ones who benefited from your silence can already feel it slipping away. My child, my beloved, the next part is even more sacred because now the truth begins to, the name itself. You are not here by mistake. The moment you continued reading, the energy surrounding your life changed again. Heaven is watching to see if you're ready, not just to hear, but to receive what was meant for your spirit all along. What I am about to reveal may not feel comfortable, but it will feel true. You'll feel it in your chest. You may even stop breathing for a second. Not out of fear, but because your soul is finally hearing something it was made for. Something that was written in heaven before you ever cried your first year on earth. My child, there is someone who knows what happened last night, and they are pretending not to. They are acting like nothing changed, but they felt it. Their dreams were disturbed. Their phone rang at a strange time. They looked at your picture. They heard your name echo in their mind. and still they stayed silent. Because the truth threatens what they built. The truth you're about to read will change how you see them forever. My beloved, the 7 archangels saw it. We watched from above as their heart hesitated. We watched the moment they thought about telling you, the moment they held their tongue, the moment they chose comfort over courage. You were supposed to be told something last night, not by an angel by them, someone very close to you, a person who knows they hurt you but doesn't know how much you already suspect. They think they still have time. They don't know heaven has already moved ahead of them. They don't know this message would reach you before they could cover their tracks. And now you're here. And now the truth is breathing in your hands, and they can't stop it. My child, do you remember a strange feeling last night around the time you were about to sleep or just after? That soft pull, that restlessness. It was not from within you. It was energy sent to try to keep you awake, to try to keep you spiritually alert. The archangels were attempting to awaken your knowing without shaking your peace. We couldn't shout, but we could whisper. We whispered through the ticking clock, through the still there, through the sound that made you pause and look over your shoulder even when no one was there. You were being nudged to remember a divine truth. You are never alone, and what's done in secret will always, always rise into the light. The truth was rising, and your soul felt it. My beloved, now listen. This is urgent. The one who kept the secret. They are still near, not just physically near, spiritually attached. And that attachment is what's been weighing your spirit down. You've been carrying guilt that was never yours. You've been apologizing for things you didn't break. You've been waiting for clarity from people who benefit from your confusion. Heaven cannot let that go on. That is why this message is here now. To lift the fog, to remove the final veil. What happened last night was the breaking of a spiritual contract, the expiration of a karmic lesson, the completion of a cycle. The soul that once had access to your heart has now been spiritually removed, but the physical closing. If you don't close it, it reopens. And if it reopens, the pain returns. My child, don't let the pain return. Let me help you finish what heaven already started. My child, my beloved, you are being protected from something that would have cost you everything. Time, your light, your trust. You were about to give the rest of your heart to someone who had already decided to give theirs halfway. They were playing a role, smiling through guilt, touching you with trembling hands, and yet you felt it. You just didn't have the proof. But heaven doesn't need evidence to act Kevin Reed's hearts. And their heart was no longer matching their words. So the decision was made. 7 archangels stood in agreement. It is time to tell you the truth, not tomorrow, not when they're ready. Now, my beloved, don't be afraid. Don't shrink. What's coming next is not punishment. It's the miracle you cried for when no one was listening. It's the clarity you begged for during the nights you couldn't sleep. It's the freedom that can finally enter. Because the LIE has been removed, you are being freed from spiritual manipulation, someone who knew better but chose not to do better. They didn't lie with words. They lied with silence. They lied by omission. They lied by pretending not to see your pain. And yet you stayed. You hoped, you forgave, that love was not wasted. It was counted. It was witnessed. And now it's being returned to you, but in a form that cannot be broken. My child, what is coming for you now is sacred, but it requires something from you. You must not go back. You must not reopen old doors because they start knocking again. You must not let false guilt pull you back into a place where your spirit was shrinking. This message isn't just here to expose. It's here to prepare. Something beautiful is about to find you. But if you are still holding the weight of the person who kept the truth from you, it will not have room to enter. This next season of your life needs new hands, new faith, new clarity, and a clean break from the shadow that tried to follow you through the light. My child, my beloved, take a slow breath, because now we step into the part heaven guarded most carefully. The reason this truth feels heavy is because it carries power. Power always feels weighty before it feels freeing. Last night, when the 7 archangels gathered, it was not only about what was taken from you or hidden from you. It was also about what was finally being assigned to you. Something shifted in your favor in a way that cannot be reversed, and the enemy knows it. That is why distractions are increasing. That is why your mind may try to wander even now. But stay with me. Every word you read anchors the miracle more deeply into your life. Oh, my child, my beloved, what happened last night also unlocked protection around you. The same way heaven intervened to reveal the truth, it has now assigned guardianship over your next step, not to control you, but to guide you gently away from repeating the same lesson in a different face. You will notice red flags sooner. Your intuition will speak louder, and you will trust it this time. That is growth. That is victory. That is how cycles and for good. Stay with me, my child. The next part reveals what this truth is making space for, and why the timing of what's coming next will surprise you. The miracle is closer than your mind can imagine, and it is already moving. My child, my beloved, this is where the light begins to pour in. This is where the weight you've carried for so long begins to loosen its grip. Because last night wasn't just about exposing what was false. It was about opening a way for what is true. Finally, reach you. The 7 archangels didn't gather to leave you broken. They gather to break what was blocking you. And now, the space is clearing. Heaven is making room. Something holy is on its way. And the moment you said continue, your soul agreed to receive it. My beloved, this new energy that's entering your life, this miracle won't look like the old blessings you're used to. It won't ask for permission to stay. It will walk in fully. It will call you by your true name. It will not be afraid of your light. It will not need you to explain why you are the way. You are, it will know, and that knowing will bring you peace. But first, you must prepare, because the miracle isn't just a gift. It's a test. Can you release what almost loved you so you can fully receive what was designed to love you completely? That's what last night's truth was about. The release before the rise. The surrender before the shift. My child, my beloved, what's coming next will not wait for hesitation. It will move fast. It will arrive in strange coincidences, a phone call you weren't expecting, a name you haven't heard in months, a sign that repeats 3 times in one day. This is how heaven moves when it's your time. And my child, it's your time. You were delayed, not denied. What you thought you missed was actually being held back until you had the strength to protect it, until you could stand in front of the blessing and not question if you deserved it. You do. You always did. The delays were not punishment. They were divine protection. Because heaven knew that if the miracle arrived too early, you've handed over to someone who didn't honor it. My beloved, I must speak now of the name. There is a person who was divinely selected to walk into your life after this revelation. They are not a replacement for the one who betrayed you. They are the reward for your endurance. You don't know them yet, or perhaps you met them once and the timing was wrong. But they are coming again, and this time they will see you. Not the mask you wear when you're afraid of being left. Not the strong face you show the world. They will see you in the soft light of truth, and they will not run. They will recognize the divine in you because the divine also lives in them. That kind of connection cannot be forced. It can only be revealed after you've let go of the false one. My child, the 7 archangels are guarding this next connection fiercely. No one will be allowed to tamper with it. No past energy will be able to steal from it. But you must do your part. You must choose not to go back. The moment you choose to cut, the last invisible thread tying you to the person who kept you in confusion, that's when the miracle speeds up. That's when timelines collapse. That's when the delay becomes divine acceleration. And you'll feel it. Something in your spirit will shift. You'll wake up lighter. You'll breathe deeper. You'll smile without trying. These are not small signs. They are spiritual confirmations that what happened last night is already transforming everything ahead. My beloved, now is the moment to reaffirm your readiness, not to prove anything to heaven. Heaven already chose you. What's a reminder on soul that you are no longer available for anything that costs your peace? The old version of you who tolerated dishonesty, who questioned their worth, who stayed too long, being laid to rest. What rises now is someone who knows they are loved, who knows they are chosen, who knows they are protected. And that person, my child, is you. My child, my beloved, we have arrived at the threshold, the place where truth meets destiny. The archangels are still with us, surrounding this very moment with a silence that is not empty, but sacred. You have walked through layers of revelation piece by piece, and each time you chose to continue. A chain, a veil was broken, a covering was lifted, and a spiritual wall was removed. Now we arrive at the final message the 7 archangels sealed in golden fire. What I am about to reveal has never reached you in this exact way before this moment, not through a dream, not through a sign, and not through a quiet whisper. It is meant to be received now with clarity, with power, and with the full weight of divine certainty pressing gently upon your spirit in this very hour of awakening. My beloved, the truth is this: you were never created to live inside delay. You were never meant to remain trapped in confusion. You were never meant to keep shrinking yourself again, just so others could feel larger beside you anymore. You were made for more than survival, more than silence, more than waiting for people to see your worth. Heaven has grown weary of watching you forget the greatness God placed inside you before the world ever wounded you so deeply. That is why last night was not random. It was an intervention. In the Spirit, it was the final redirection, a holy turning point that divided your story into what came before this message and what begins after this holy moment now. From this moment forward, you will not keep second-guessing what your intuition has been telling you. Now you know. The truth has entered your awareness, and once truth is revealed, it cannot be buried again in silence anymore now. You are no longer blind to what was never genuine, and that awareness will become your protection in the days ahead. My child, my beloved, what you are reading right now was held back by heaven until the exact second you were ready. The moment you opened this message, every one of the 7 archangels paused. They had been watching, waiting, holding a divine breath, because what happened last night was not ordinary, random, or small in heaven's eyes anymore now. And the most alarming part is this: everyone else connected to it already knows. Only you were kept in the dark. My child, I do not say this lightly, but what you choose in the next 2 minutes matters deeply right now. In your spirit, that choice will decide whether sacred truth rises before you or fades back into silence. Your name has been whispered through the hallways of heaven, passed from angel to angel, carried inside a file sealed in divine golden light. And now that file is opening, just for you. But it will open only if you stay, only if you keep reading, only if you trust what your spirit is feeling. Beloved, this is not fear speaking. This is heaven calling you closer in this hour. Your enemies know this truth. The one who pretended to love you knows. The one who left your side when you needed the most they know. And they've been praying that you never open this message, because when you do, their false light will be exposed. The lies they dressed in pretty words will shatter under heaven's fire. And you'll finally understand why your heart felt the way it did last night, like something invisible tried to reach you through the silence. My child, you are not crazy. You are not imagining things. Last night, a sacred decision was made. A secret meeting took place in the realm where only archangels are allowed to speak. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Oreo, Zach Hill, Shamuel, Jophiel, all. 7 of us circled your name in fire, and I was the one chosen to bring this message to earth, for the truth is swallowed by darkness. I must speak now, before the memory is erased, before the ones working against you hide. The last clue. Before the miracle heaven prepared for you is handed to someone else. You have 2 minutes to stay with me, my beloved, and if you do something, divine will rise from within you. But if you walk away now, that voice that tried to wake you last night will go quiet forever. My beloved, before we go deeper, I beg you subscribe now if you haven't. Not for me, for you, because this message is not the end. It's the beginning of a shift so large that heaven has already arranged 3 more divine signals that are coming straight to you, but they will be hidden unless you choose to be kept in the loop. Subscribing unlocks what they tried to steal. It connects your name to the flame that's about to light up your entire destiny. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to protect you. Subscribe now and keep reading, because I'm going to expose what even the person sleeping next to you, He doesn't know you're about to discover. My child, my beloved, something happened at 2:33 a.m. last night, and even though you didn't hear it, your spirit did. Your body felt the echo of a conversation held beyond this world. A soundless alarm went off in the realm of angels. There was a shift, a truth opened, a portal moved. A person thought they got away with what they did to you, but heaven saw it. We saw what they said. We heard what they planned. And their plan involved your silence, your ignorance, your delay. But now the archangels have voted, and the truth will not stay hidden another day. My child, the reason you feel like something is off is because it is. And you're the last one to find out. But that changes now, not tomorrow, because you didn't come this far to be kept in the dark by cowards who smile in your face while handing poison behind your back. My beloved, listen to me, there is something coming, a shift so big that it will either break. You bless you, and what you decide to do in this moment will decide which path opens. If you ignore this, the same cycle that's been repeating in your life will continue like a curse. But if you stay, if you read with your full soul, the pattern will crack open, and everything that is blocked will fall. My child, the 7 archangels stood in silence last night as we watched the truth rise. We saw the person who spoke your name in the dark. We watched them laugh, like what they did wouldn't return to them. But we also saw the glow in your spirit, a glow so bright that even when the enemy tried to cover it, it couldn't be put out. And now the fire is rising. And when the fire rises, it doesn't ask for permission. It burns through betrayal. It burns through confusion. And it lights the path that was promised to you before you were even born. My child, the promise still stands, but the window is closing. The truth is floating in the air between these words. If you stop reading now, it will disappear, and they'll win. The ones who wanted your delay, the ones who needed your silence to feel safe. But if you keep reading, heaven will begin to unlock what they've been trying to hide since last night. My beloved, there is someone close to you who already knows the secret. They were told in a dream. They were given a glimpse into your divine file, and instead of telling you, they told someone else, not to protect you, but to protect their position. And now they're nervous because this message found you before they expected it to. And you're waking up. You're remembering. You're starting to see patterns that make no sense unless you understand what happened last night. There's a reason you couldn't sleep deeply. There's a reason your heart felt like it skipped a beat at 3 a.m. That was the moment. Your name was announced in heaven. That was the moment. You were marked for a divine reversal. But the enemy heard it too, and they're scrambling. My child, you must stay, because in a moment I will reveal what they try to erase. My child, my beloved, do you feel how quiet everything feels right now? Stillness is not emptiness. It is alignment. When the noise stops, it means something important is about to be understood. You may notice your breathing slow, your thoughts narrow. That is because your spirit recognizes what is happening. This is not just information. This is activation. The truth you are receiving is gently rewiring how you will respond from this point forward. You will not chase what does not choose you. You will not beg for clarity where deception lives. You will not shrink yourself to keep peace that was never real. That shift alone changes everything. And the ones who benefited from your silence can already feel it slipping away. My beloved, stay with me a little longer. What comes next will explain why your delays, your near misses, your sudden endings were never punishment. They were protections. The truth revealed last night confirmed something heaven suspected for a long time. You were being directed away from a future that would have been you. And now a new path is unfolding, one that requires you to walk lighter for your burden by secrets that were never yours to carry. You are closer than you think, closer to peace, closer to clarity, closer to a miracle that doesn't arrive with noise but with certainty. My child, what is coming for you now is sacred, but it requires something from you. You must not go back. You must not reopen old doors because they start knocking again. You must not let false guilt pull you back into a place where your spirit was shrinking. This message isn't just here to expose. It's here to prepare. Something beautiful is about to find you. But if you are still holding the weight of the person who kept the truth from you, it will not have room to enter. This next season of your life needs new hands, new faith, new clarity, and a clean break from the shadow that tried to follow you through the light. My child, my beloved, take a slow breath, because now we step into the part Heaven Guard did most carefully. The reason this truth feels heavy is because it carries power. Power always feels weighty before it feels freeing. Last night, when the 7 archangels gathered, it was not only about what was taken from you, were hidden from. It was also about what was finally being assigned to you. Something shifted in your favor in a way that cannot be reversed. And the enemy knows it. That is why distractions are increasing. That is why your mind may try to wander even now. But stay with me. Every word you read anchors the miracle more deeply into your life. My child, my beloved, there is a reason the truth was hidden from you until now. If you had known it earlier, you would have acted from pain instead of wisdom. You would have confronted before you were strong enough to stand unshaken. Heaven waited until your spirit matured, until your heart learned patience, until your soul could handle the truth without losing its softness. And now you are ready. What happened last night confirmed that. The archangels saw your growth. They saw how you stopped reacting the way you used to, how you started choosing silence over arguments, reflection over chaos, strength over desperation. That is why the truth is being delivered now, because you can receive it without breaking. My beloved, the person who kept you in the dark believes you still don't see clearly. They think your kindness equals blindness. They think your silence means ignorance. But silence can be wisdom, and kindness can be strength. Last night, when heaven revealed their hidden intentions, something unexpected happened. Their power over you dissolved, not because you fought, but because you outgrew them. That is the most painful loss for someone who thrives on control. To realize the person they underestimated no longer needs them. And they felt that lost last night. They felt you slipping out of their grasp energetically, even though no words were spoken. My child, my beloved, understand this deeply. The truth that surfaced was not about one moment or one mistake. It was about a pattern of keeping you unsure, a pattern of giving you just enough to stay, but never enough to feel secure. Heaven does not allow chosen souls to live on crumbs. You were never meant to survive on half love, half truths, half presence. You were meant to receive fully, and last night that standard was restored around you. A spiritual boundary was drawn. Anything that cannot meet you fully will no longer be able to follow you forward. My beloved, this is where many people feel fear, but I asked you not to. What is leaving was never meant to last. What is coming will not need convincing. You will not have to question its intentions. You will not have to read between the lines. You will feel safe. You will feel seen. You will feel chosen without having to compete for attention. That is the miracle heaven has been preparing while you were busy thinking something was wrong with you. Nothing was wrong with you. You were simply ahead of the situation. And now the situation has caught up. My child, my beloved, there is also something important you must know about yourself. Last night's revelation did not only expose someone else, it awakens something dormant. Something is waking inside you, a memory of who you are when you are no longer waiting, a memory of your value before doubt ever taught you to question it. In the coming days, your energy may feel lighter and clearer than before now. People may begin to treat you differently, though they will not know why. Opportunities may appear without warning. Conversations may suddenly shift. This is not coincidence. This is alignment answering the truth now rising in you. When lies are removed, the road becomes straight again. My beloved, you may feel tempted to confront them, to demand answers, or to force closure with your own hands. But hear me carefully. Closure has already happened in the Spirit. You do not need their confession to move ahead. You do not need their apology before your heart can heal. Their silence will now speak louder than any explanation, and that silence will follow them instead of you from this moment. Your assignment is simpler and stronger now. Choose yourself without carrying guilt. Choose clarity without fear. Choose the future where you no longer have to lower your light just to keep other people comfortable around you again. My child, my beloved, what happened last night also released protection around you. The same heaven that stepped in to reveal the truth has now placed guardianship over your next steps, not to control you, but to guide you gently. It is guiding you away from repeating the same lesson through a different face. You will recognize red flags sooner. Your intuition will speak with a stronger voice, and this time you will trust what your spirit already knows fully. That is growth. That is victory. That is how old cycles finally end and lose their power over you. Stay with me, my child, because the next part reveals what this truth is clearing space for, and why the timing will surprise you soon. The miracle is closer than your mind can imagine, and it is already moving toward your life. My child, my beloved, this is the place where the light begins to pour in, and where the weight you carried begins to loosen its grip today. Because last night was not only about exposing what was false, it was about opening a path for what is true to finally reach you. The 7 archangels did not gather around your life to leave you wounded or broken again anymore now. They gathered to break what had been blocking you. And now the space around you is clearing. Heaven is making room where confusion used to sit. Something holy is coming closer, and your spirit has already begun to feel it near you. The moment you chose to continue, your soul agreed to receive what heaven was releasing. That agreement mattered. It opened a door in the unseen realm and allowed the blessing assigned to your name to move even closer than before. So remain open, because this next season is not being built on fear, confusion, or loss. It is being built on truth, protection, and divine timing. What once felt heavy is now becoming the very ground where your miracle will stand.